so much, Orb. And there are so many question marks over these two teams, Stumpy. I mean, like, if you picked two teams that could do better on their report card, I feel like Vitality and KCorp would be the two.
But I love series where there are those big question marks, because we've not seen KCorp for a little while now. Like, it's been a good chunk of time since we've seen what they can really do, seen them even playing. Astral is playing in such a confusing looking car, and I really respect that. I like that he truly fits to no standard that anybody wants in design. Look at that beast, my word, in the breakout.
That's the sort of car that I would use on my streams like a few years ago, and everybody would abuse me for it.
Yeah, but now, because Astral's doing it, it's brave and nice.
You're going to see people in ranked using that vehicle now. It's just become meta.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that when there are question marks in a series, it is exciting to get them answered. Because at the end of this, hopefully we will have an answer of, okay, cool, KCorp look sick, Vitality look good, because we don't want them to be sick again. First minute, though, not too much has happened, and I think that we always say that these teams poke about with each other, try and figure out what is going on in that series. But I think when you look at what KCorp have got to go off with Vitality, they essentially need to ignore what happened at the major.
Yeah, they can't expect that Vitality are gonna, roll over and die in front of them. KCorp are gonna have to earn this victory. Because Vitality, they've swallowed up a little bit of KCorp pressure, and now when they come forwards, Alpha 54, who played world class at the Stockholm Major apparently, look at him go again.
Alpha's also got a sure set as a profile picture, which is exciting. Lovely touch in, though, from Alpha. Is able to touch it in from a delicious little angle. Taking first blood for Vitality. And Cole, you need him to carry you to that victory in a Twitch Rivals, I do feel. Now that me and Orb have got one. Next one, do you reckon you're going to try and convince him to pick you up?
I'll send him a DM. I'll slide into those. Hope he hasn't blocked me. And if he hasn't, then, well, there you go.
Make him regret that.
Vitality are looking a lot better. I mean, they are putting a lot of pressure on KCorp, and the fact that Alpha is getting involved in the goals is precisely what they need.
Yeah, it was a nice turnaround from Alpha as well there to realise that Astral's in an awkward position, and KCorp's then able to get in the way, get the 50, and then just fly seemingly randomly and still meet the ball with absolute perfection right as it's on the goal line to tap it in. Very nice from him, clearly feeling confident.
I mean, they're feeling confident, but Astral's car just keeps distracting me. The ball just went up, and I just saw this flash of green and red. I was like, oh, what's that? Is my game glitching? Oh, no, it's just Astral.
He does look like a graphics card error.
Look at him go. Vitality really putting Carmine Corp under pressure. Carmine Corp relying on these counter-attacks so far. They have had a little bit of pressure themselves, but Vitality's goal line defense has always been so strong for them. You need to do a lot to score against them normally, but Astral is doing exactly that. And Itachi is following it home.
The movement from Astral up once, jumps then get on the ceiling, gets the reset, bumps off the backboard, and then just the touch from Fairy Pig into Itachi. The goal happens there, but the magic happened beforehand. That movement just looked like free play. Astral, please keep that up for the next 5 years.
It looked like he was attached to the ball by string, just never too far away from it, always in control of what he was doing. And suddenly Carmine Corp reminding us why they are so dangerous, why they won the biggest tournament in the off-season, then finished top 4 in the first regional. They were really the team to beat for a little while. Never quite able to build upon that, but can they build upon the goal that they've scored? That's not the best touch from Fairy Pig. Astral shoots.
Twice!
The crossbar, and eventually Itachi scores.
Had to go at that twice, wants to pad those stats. Done. Great intercept, though, from Stake. Astral does have to wait on that shot, because KCorp's high and in a good position to save it. Should have shot it low to begin with, realistically. Can then get the second shot off the crossbar again, and then finally tapped in from Itachi to score his second goal. And KCorp have drawn themselves level. A lot of Astral magic so far, still has that reset. Just about finds the crossbar instead of the top corner.
Yeah, he's loving the woodwork at the moment, is Astral, but getting so many chances to shoot, which is exactly what Vitality don't want, nor do they want Itachi finishing off his hat-trick.
Tell you what, we said that Vitality started off with all the pressure. It's now KCorp's turn. Alpha and KCorp, I think it was, both committing into the same zone of influence where they were both going to be able to do ultimately the same thing with the ball. Quick turnaround is not enough. Full advantage taken. Itachi securing the hat-trick. 3 goals, 3 shots. That man shooting 100%.
Alpha trying to get his own hat-trick. Needed Astral on the goal line to see it away. And still Vitality come forward, but Itachi sends it away there. Stake and Alpha going for the same ball. The game just slowing down for 15 seconds or so, which is fair enough. I mean, there has been 5 goals in the first 2 minutes. Can't stay at that rate forever. That's what I like from Vitality, though, is little prods into the center, trying to get Alpha going, trying to get him as involved as they possibly can do, because he started this one the strongest of all three of their players.
Yeah, bit of an awkward touch there from Fairy Peak, though. With no Vitality player pushing up to assist his pass, it just means that he gives all possession over Itachi, failing a doink yet again. I'm not going to take to Twitter and complain about more doink, because pros just end up hating me, even though AJ was ultimately a very good sport about it. We got in the DMs, we cleared it up. Pros, learn how to doink. That is genuinely 4-2 if Itachi nails that.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know why they don't. They never learn. Someone make a training pack for doinks, and maybe they'll follow it. Good play from Astral again. I'll just look at the speed. He had no boost there. He had no right to score from that position, but Astral doesn't care.
Just taking full advantage of that 12 pad that he picks up and then instantly leaves the ground again. Shoots on the open net, and Vitality, despite taking that 2-goal lead, it seems like they've been chasing, trying to overextend more than they should, but 4 straight unanswered goals. And the first one for anybody other than Itachi on KCorp just leaves a 2-goal deficit. And Vitality, if that chasing is going to continue, then I do think KCorp have got the upper hand.
Yeah, they're certainly able to play their way out of Vitality's squeeze. It's where Vitality need to do their best work. Passes into the center, setting up Alpha. That was a nice one, but Alpha's touch was sent over there. Look at the speed from Itachi. Takes underneath. He just wanted to get a touch into the center there. Not the most mechanical player on Carmine Corp by his own admission. Seems to make sure he's passing that ball to his teammates, which is what he attempted. Very with 30 seconds left. Can Vitality give themselves a chance?
It's going to take a lot, but that's a chance for KDOT to find Alpha. The backboard is there, but Astral with a gentle touch keeps it away from the boostless KDOT. Very big, though, towards Alpha. Saved away from Astral. Final 15 is Stake with 10 boost. Attempts to get it central. Astral just a little bit late to it, but they do not care if they get another because they've already secured the game. KCorp coming back from a 2-goal deficit to bring 4 straight in a row. Double flip reset. No goal from it. But Astral really looking threatening.
Yeah, he looks like he's enjoying himself on the pitch right now. That double flip reset that he got at the end maybe would have led to an assist if the game hadn't ended with the ball touching the floor. What a player. Astral is 615 points.
The question about Astral has pretty much consistently been, sure, he's got the mechanics. Literally nobody's ever doubted that about him, and that's great. You know, he can lock them in. It always comes down to the question of, firstly, do his teammates support him in that endeavor? And secondly, is he able to rotate nicely around, you know, play as a teammate as well as he can do individually? And I think we saw it in that game as well.
I mean, it was a strong start from Vitality, but in the end, obviously, it didn't go their way. What were they missing? What is lacking on the Vitality side that caused the game to flip in such a way, Cole?
I feel like when they went 2 goals up, they maybe over-pushed just a little bit too much, and once Carmine Corp get in behind you, they have the mechanics to score from those positions every single time. They just had to, you know, it's very tempting to want to keep on pushing, try and get those extra goals, but sometimes, and I know, Stumpy, you're a big fan of continually aggressing. You just got to make sure you keep what you've got. Just 20 seconds or so to keep that 2-0 lead, because as soon as they had it, they lost it.
Yeah, one of those situations where I think it just becomes a little bit harder to hold it on, especially when KCorp start just doing ridiculous mechanics around the pitch as well. I mean, it's so exciting seeing Astral flipping around, getting those double resets. Will he be able to do it, though, on Forbidden Temple on a cold, rainy night?
There's no rain on my screen anyway. I think you're fabricating that one, Stumpy Goblin. But I think Astral can do it anywhere. The way he started that first game, he is going to be desperate to get the ball as much as possible. Vitality have to make sure that his effect is numbed somewhat, but he's already getting there. Yeah, but this is good for Vitality. Some freedom for Alpha to push forward, both his teammates behind him, moving forward information. He ended up getting a clean touch on it, but Stake, he's having a good series as well. He is breaking up so much of what Vitality are doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, I feel, for KCorp, where you've got Astral, we're looking at him just move around the pitch and being wowed by it, and you're looking at Itachi scoring the goals. Stake is what is keeping them together and meaning that the holes on the backside aren't just completely open for Vitality to plunder. That is a decent chance, though. Shot just going and skimming in front of the net. Alpha to catch with 30 boost. Can he make magic happen? Great 50. I like that. Just stays in front of the ball, knows he can't shoot, but he does keep this possession, and that is what has led to this continued attack.
You mentioned magic happening, and I feel like Astral's car is misdirection. You know, he's flying about, he's trying to get double flip resets. Meanwhile, Stake and Itachi, they sleuth their way forward, and that's why Itachi's the one scoring the goals so far for Carmine Corp.
So you think it's like the opposite?
Look at me,
of
I'm
camouflage.
Astral. Yeah, exactly. And then,
Oh my dearie doodles. What on earth is that angle? It's actually launching so nicely and can then touch
His
it
wheel.
in just so softly with his wheels. KDOT, not knowing what's going on, then suddenly has a ballistic missile through the windscreen.
I didn't see it, mate. I was too busy looking at Astral. He was there doing card tricks in the center. I had no idea. What did the goal look like?
I don't know anymore. I'm looking at Astrid in the replay.
1-0 in game 2 to Carmine Corp. So far, so good for them right now. It's the 40% of us that predicted that they would take this series. So far, Vitality not exactly looking like their best, as we saw before in the major. Carmine Corp finding it way too simple to pass their way around them. And these pre-jumps of Vitality, they've tried a few of them, which I respect, but they're not really coming off so far.
No, not working, but I think early season is potentially the chance to try out just a couple of those plays. Mix it up, see how you're going to then continue to aggress the rest of the season, or even be more defensive, whatever it ends up being, whatever your game style plan that you're feeling out is. But for Vitality, it just comes down to figuring out how to beat the team in front of you, especially considering the most recent result that we cannot overstate how disappointing that was at the fall major. They just need to firstly make it back and then prove that they are more than a top 14 team in the world.
Oh, they've hit one. KDOT's matched that one. The State was defending it really well again on the backboard. So it doesn't come to too much. But Vitality have improved since going a goal behind in this second game, in my opinion. They're getting much more of the ball, more clean touches. But when it comes time to that final pass where they really want to cut through Carmine Corp, it's just not quite reaching them. They're not quite making it. And then he's go solo a little bit more, trying to overpass, and it's being read fairly simply. I mean, I'm also spotting Carmine Corp, I was going to say, defending very deep as well. They're not afraid to let Vitality have possession in their own half.
And tell you what, I think that is because of some of those pre-jumps. If you're seeing your opponent pre-jump, that means either you need to match them in the pre-jump, at which point, if your opponent's passing, they can just, not go for that pass. If you've seen Alpha start flying, you then just keep it low, and then you've got all the cards in your hand. Or you force the opponents to sit further back, and then you don't let them go for those. They can get the shot, sure, but they're just trying to get it quickly. They're not trying to get it as a good shot necessarily. Speaking of good shots, Itachi just below the crossbar again, the second goal for him.
Yeah, Stake just bundling it forward. Alpha's touch not ideal. I think he wanted KDOT to help him a little bit more. And Fairy Peak was there. The rotation a little bit wide. And they get a boost. And a pause has been requested by Carmine Corp. So potentially one of those guys lagging or something a little bit off on the Carmine Corp side of things.
Yeah, it just looks a little bit like Alpha has some high ping. So just going to try and figure out what is going on with that. I know before the series he was saying his route is being a little bit funny. Harsh for that to happen when you're playing in the RLCS, but that you know how it is, or when you're in a gaming session and then suddenly your internet goes down, you're like, finally, I was good at the game, and now the internet gods are against me.
It's what we call in this business, we call the live curse. It's that during rehearsal, during prep, everything works perfect, and then when it's game time, all of a sudden audio messes up, video messes up. Obviously, for a player to have internet issues on a big day where it matters the most. Absolutely devastating. But my thing is, okay, now you get a little bit of a timeout, right? What do you do we talked about regrouping, kind of collecting your, kind of tying together the team, okay? Seeing where there's loose ends. How important is it to use this little bit of timeout, this free timeout, to talk over strats?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's strats necessarily for Vitality. I mean, if they're playing...
It's motivational?
If they're just not quite in the zone together, either individually or as a team, and that's what you can talk about here. Equally, they'll have Matt on the call with them. Maybe he is talking through some of the tactics that can be changed. Maybe they're going against the game plan. Maybe they want to go to plan B because plan A isn't working for sure. But there's a lot that you can talk about during these times. We've seen actually in the since timeouts have been brought in the majors last season and in game sevens in this season, there have been some massive swings in series where teams looked down and out. And then that extra minute where they can talk things through, completely check their opponent's momentum. Suddenly they get a couple of games, say, and they're back in it. So this is, hopefully, for the sake of this series, Stumpy, going to be a good thing for Vitality.
I mean, Vitality have got, I think, one of the strongest coaches that we've seen in Rocket League, with Mount behind them and being able to talk them through what is actually happening in this and having this extra time to identify, look, this is an issue, this is what's going on, how do we sort that out? Maybe he just says to KDOT, stop pre-jumping. My God, you've hit one. Chill out. I appreciate it looks cool, but no.
Speaking of coaches, right? For the viewers at home that may be new to Rocket League, right? What is the role of the coach, and how important is it for the coach to? I mean, what is the coach's job in a situation like this, right? In an overtime, what is it that you tell the team? You know, obviously maybe it's a little bit different, but the importance of a coach.
Yeah, there's something that I think is different in Rocket League compared to a game like, you know, like a MOBA or like an FPS, like esport, where you can talk strats, you can change it up completely how you're playing. In Rocket League, it's the 7-minute-ish microcosm, and that's where a coach has to come in and say, look, you know what? We just need to play how we play. Keep the motivation up. You said motivation earlier, Orb. That's exactly what Mount needs to do. Talk to them about it. You're not going to change anything within a series. Barely in a day are you going to change what your strats are. You just need to hold it together. And Astral immediately has duct taped his router back together, and he has made an incredible double tap out of it.
That's real tough, isn't it? You know, you spend 2.5 minutes. I think it was Astral's internet actually that was struggling. He left the game and then rejoined. So meanwhile, Vitality are thinking, okay, we can talk this through, we can figure this one out. And then about 4 seconds after they come back, Astral gets the goal, and it's like, oh, we were just sort of talking about how that was going to be the point where we brought ourselves back into this one. It's like, how do you quickly recover from there?
And Alpha just hits clips. It's like, oh, fair. Sorry, Astral rather. It's like, yeah. Oh, okay then, fair enough.
I mean, like, I feel like every time Vitality venture forward, it is just playing into KCorp's hands. You know, Carmine Corp are defending very easily against Vitality, and this is a team that can struggle when the pressure is against them in Carmine Corp. But right now, that's not happening. So, like,
I just want to defend that save very quickly from KDOP. It looked really bad from his perspective, but he had such a tiny bump on his back from Astral that then meant that he didn't jump off how he wanted to. He wasn't positioned correctly, and then I don't believe he could have used his jump either. That's why he didn't dodge into it and why he just was in a bad place. But that did not look good from KDOP. And ultimately, you know, game one, they were looking good. They were up that 2 goals. They were doing all right. It's because they had pressure. KCorp have identified that. They know what happened, and now they are trying to go for as much pressure as they possibly can, getting those weird little touches. Look at Itachi, just wait. And Fairybeat's given it to him. That was 5-6 seconds that's now been burned in the midfield. Nothing's happened for Vitality. They can slow it down for KCorp. Astral just to the backboard. Doesn't need to think of scoring. Brilliant time management from them. KCorp, despite that disconnection, Astral came in, scored a double tap, and they get their second game of this series.
They keep going for this angled pre-jump pass. And I think there was once where KDOP actually connected and then State defended it really easily on the backboard. Apart from that, I don't think it's ever actually been met by a Vitality player. And I'm just wondering why that hasn't been identified as a little bit of a failed tactic. You know, maybe it has been working in scrims, maybe it has been working in training, but right now on the day, it's not quite happening. So just take a touch, go for a 50-50, try and push your way through to the KCorp half rather than booming it there in one pass. I don't know. It's the first thing that I notice right now for Team Vitality.
Yeah, and keeping it grounded as well. What that means is you force a defender to come out and meet you somewhere in the midfield. You can then get that 50. Bear in mind the incredible ability on Vitality to have those 50s. We do have a couple of updates, I believe, from different series that are happening at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. There is so much going on. There's so much to keep track of. Obviously, we can't be broadcasting every game. Otherwise, this show would be lasting forever. Some of you guys might see that as a good thing, but we got to keep things a little bit snappy. We just want to make a push, essentially, for the fact that there are so many team streams going on. So if you feel like you want to watch a specific team, guess what? Team streams are up. I've been checking out BDS, who's currently playing against Singularity. They're currently up 2-0 in games, currently 2-1 in this game. It's looking like it's going to be a sweep for BDS. I don't know. Is that something that you guys expected? I want to say maybe yes, based on fall major results.
I mean, 2-1, did you say? Oh, no, 2-0 so far, 2-1 in that second game.
2-0 and now 3-1 in the game.
Fair play to Singularity for keeping, I've just checked the scores as well, forcing an overtime in that first game and then having it be 2-1 in the second. That is what I'm seeing from Singularity. That's pretty good. Carmine Corp as well, they are currently streaming. That is on KAMET0 on that channel. And Vitality, they are also live on twitch.tv/Vitality. So go check them out if you fancy it. Otherwise, game 3, Cole, is it just a sweep for Karmine Corp?
I'd love to hype it up as like, no, Vitality can definitely come back. I'm not believing that just yet, but that is why I'm not a pro player, that and the skill problem, because I give up too easily, Stumpy. Vitality don't.
Idiot. Cool, Cole.
Yeah.
Look at that touch from Alpha. Managed to force that own goal with Itachi. And then Astro did come in, try and get that save away, because he knew essentially Itachi, he touches that in no matter what happens, but bundled home for Vitality. Their first goal since the start of game number 1. It's going to be a confidence booster. Alpha still trying to go for their ceiling shots. Not able to get it off that time. And so onto the left wall. Stake finds Astral. Maybe team play starting to be the order of the day over in KCorp HQ.
You were saying in the last game as well that keeping the ball grounded could be beneficial for Vitality. That was from the ground, that goal right there. When it's in the air, you saw that Carmine Corp have a little bit more control over every touch they make as they go for one of those pre-jump passes themselves, show Vitality how it's done. That's just trying to come in, but Fairy Peak got in the way. That's more good play from Vitality. Ball just falls to Itachi there. KCorp is scrambling back. And a good pre-flip there from Fairy Peak, an important one as well. And now they have actually somewhat broken through Carmine Corp. Can they get the pass? Not quite there, but it's looking a little bit better for Vitality.
Yeah, outsped in the air yet again. There's nobody to meet Astral. 2 players from Carmine Corp go to attack that ball. Fairy Peak, he just gives it back to KCorp, which I don't like seeing. There he could have slowed it down, had a call from a teammate, you know, like, hey, you have space, you have time. That time call is so important. If he doesn't get that, then he's going to rush it because he thinks there's going to be somebody challenging him. But now it's the chance for KCorp to keep being aggressive. A good demo from Astral onto Alpha, the battle of the A's.
In the corner, here is Alpha. Look at Astral, look how speedy he is, just meeting up there. He is having a flawless series so far. Every time Astral touches the ball, Vitality are in trouble.
It's it's assist city, and Stake shooting that puts it so awkwardly between Alpha and KCorp, because KCorp has to come from high to low, and Alpha has to go across the net onto that right-hand side of the goal, left if you're shooting. Shooting it there means that both of them try and go for it, but neither of them can quite get it. It's just out of reach. Great placement.
If you had to study why everybody predicted that Carmine Corp would be a, let's say, top 3 team in EU this season, this series shows why. Every player on the pitch for Carmine Corp, all 3 of them, are doing what's expected of them. Astral is doing the impossible. You know, he's keeping the ball connected to his car as he goes around the pitch in a way that really nobody else, at least in EU, can do. Okay? Stake, he's playing a bit more simply, but he's getting so many great touches. He's pre-flipping to get in his opponent's way. He's doing everything right, you know, to his level of mechanics. And then Itachi is always dangerous. He's looking for those passes. He is getting in the way, making sure that it's not easy for Vitality to play out. And just look how well it works. They're a well-oiled machine right now.
Heck, that was nice. KCorp with a pretty poor touch and Astral removing him for his sins. Alpha forced into a pre-jump because Itachi fakes the shot after he's been so deadly. And Stake can just shoot it in the now much more open goal mouth. 2 goals for KCorp with just 2 minutes remaining in this game. It may well be a series over. We just need to see something more from Vitality. Stop chucking possession away. That's the biggest thing I've seen.
Well, that was better there from KCorp, going for an air dribble. And
That's
it has
good.
led to this pressure. The finish not quite there. It was KCorp, the man who started it all, that had the chance. Couldn't quite put it away. Vitality have definitely improved in this 3rd game as 2 of them bundle into the ball to make sure it doesn't end up in their goal. And then a breezy flick, I think that was there from Astral off the wall. Why not when you're Astral and you're playing like this? Itachi's going to hit the post. No, it's just going to go in. Straight from the wall there. There was Itachi, and it's found its way home. KCorp couldn't quite meet it. And instead, it is 3-1 now to Carmine Corp, and it's looking pretty dangerous for Vitality. Really shown enough in the last few games that makes you think that they can come back in the next minute and a half. But 1 goal can change everything. We've seen it before. Fairy Peak's trying to get it going, bundling that ball forward. Low on boost, though. And it's actually with no boost at all. He's petrifying the Vitality defense. It fell to Fairy Peak in the end. They do meet one of their pre-jumps. Vitality have shown why they have been going for these since the off. This is the moment that they have been building up to as KCorp beats Astral to the ball. Stumpy, rejoice, it works.
I had the astral bug. My internet went all fuzzy for a while, and then I came back and an amazing goal was scored. Maybe that's just what happens in 2022. Bad internet leads into awesome goals, and Vitality, they've found themselves back in it. Only one separating them. With a minute remaining, it comes down to this for Vitality. Otherwise, they're losing 0-3. Then they're not in a good position.
I'm believing in it again there. Fairy Peak just tried to set up KDOP, and I was like, it's going to happen again. They're going to get 2 in a row. But sadly, that one was met by, I think, 2 Carmine Corp defenders, showing how readable it is. But there's some great demoing from Fairy Peak. KDOP's 1-on-1. Fairy Peak can shoot. He puts it in. Vitality get themselves back.
Just positioning for Fairy Peak. I thought that touch from KDOP was so far. Astro really should have challenged that earlier. Fairy Peak is parked. That man needs to claim on the insurance for the damage that KDOP did to his car because he was not driving.
Brilliant. Well done, Vitality. I didn't believe it was possible with 2 goals needed. Carmine Corp, are you going to kill this story before it has a chance to flourish? The Vitality reverse sweep. Here's Fairy Peak to the backboard. He can go. Alpha's arriving. Oh, but what an interception from Stake.
Chance now for KDOP. Sort of tries to find Alpha, then also just shoots at Itachi, so nothing came from that play. Attached to the ceiling, Stake to the shot. Alpha clearing away from top corner. It leaves Astral now to work on this play. Up high, goes low. Itachi, brilliant placement on that ball, and just fakes out, I think it was KDOP on the back wall, no, Alpha on the back wall. He just has to hold it for a second and then touch it. I don't know why Alpha jumped and then flipped. Honestly, that looked like a misflip to me, but Itachi taking full advantage. 17 seconds, KC lead.
Such good finishing there from Itachi, and this could finish the series. Is there a fake? There's 1 or 2. Here's Stake. Tries to get it over the top. Vitality need this ball on the other side of the pitch immediately. This 50-50 could be it, but look at the intelligence there from Itachi. One more chance for a pass. The pre-jump has worked to an extent. Stake's already up for it. Wants to send this ball downwards, but Fairy Peak is going to go up against him. Carmine Corp are going to see the series away in a sweep.
We said it was there was that friendly rivalry between Vitality and Karmine Corp, but that result is anything but friendly. A 3-0 on behalf of Karmine Corp. In the last, by what it looks like, in the last like matches that they have had, the last time that neither of the teams against each other had a single game won was back in the EU grid in spring. That was a 3-0 back